Hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody, hey, 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 what up y'all? Okay, everybody needs a little twerk session, everybody needs a little twerk session. That's so wild. I just found this jar. I've been looking for this jar forever. That's why everybody needs a little twerk session. Anyway, good morning, good evening, good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. Hello, and thank you for watching this video. I am here, I'm queer, and you can definitely hear me because I have a lot of energy coursing through this vessel right now. So, I'm reporting live from the laundry room because the lighting is pretty nice in here. And I just wanted to come and make this video because I wanted to share some things that I wish I'd known before starting my vegan journey, or even things that I wish I'd known while I was in the middle of my vegan journey, at some of my most difficult points, the points at which I actually wanted to give up, and the reasons why I didn't. But I wish that I had known these before. However, now that I know them, I want to share them, and I think that's the most important part. So, I'm just gonna dive right in. The very first tip that I wish I'd known, it seems very simple, but it's actually pretty challenging, and it is, don't give a fuck about what other people say. Whether it be vegans or non-vegans, you will experience a lot of judgment, a lot of side comments that you don't actually have to address or defend, and a lot of just general chatter that it would be to your benefit to tune it out. Because ultimately, people say a lot of things, but you don't really have to be worried about the judgment of all these people. Because they're going to have a lot of suggestions, they're going to have a lot of questions, and honestly, you don't have to give a fuck about what everybody says. You can listen to everyone, you can take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't. You're going to hear, like, what if this, what if that? Are you eating enough of this? From non-vegans, and from vegans, you may hear a lot of, like, pressure that you're not doing enough. So the first thing that I wish I know is to not give a fuck about what other people say. Stay self-aware, be rooted in your reason for doing things, be open to listening to people, but don't let other people's opinions or judgments like get to you so much, because you will face a world of judgment, literally, and people may not realize that they're doing it. So don't worry. The next thing that I wish I'd known is to be patient with myself. There are a lot of vegan influencers and inspirations that I looked up to who were at a point in their journey that I wanted to be at, that I held in my mind's eye, but I felt myself pressuring myself to be at the point that they were. And I'll tell you one thing, I think that it's better to authentically take smaller steps toward a longer term, more genuine, and just longer term and more genuine vegan lifestyle, or any type of lifestyle or change that you want to make. Slow and steady wins the race. Like, jumping straight into the most challenging aspects of veganism, just like the best that you could be. You can be the best you could be by accomplishing, really mastering is what comes to mind, but I don't like that word. I'm trying to transition out, but just for lack of a better, I'm actually trying to find a better word. Grabbing a hold and becoming very secure in the small steps toward this big goal. And then so that when you are achieving that big goal, all the foundation you've already accomplished. Because what you may find is if you rush in to do everything, you don't have that much of a foundation, so you don't have that much to rely upon when that shit gets hard, or that shit just, you move too fast, essentially. So that's the second thing I wish I'd known, is to be patient with myself. Everyone is on a vegan journey. And just because you're on a vegan journey and you haven't completed your goal of what you consider to be a real vegan, or whatever the case, you are still on your vegan journey. Claim that and embrace that. That leads me to my next thing. The third thing that I wish I'd known before beginning my vegan journey is that it is my own responsibility for continuing to inform myself, for exploring the resources that are already out there. Because I know as a newer vegan, I actually was before I do something, I want to know a lot about it, essentially. So I just was looking up on YouTube hundreds of recipes. Off the top of my head, I know Sweet Potato Soul, Caitlin Shoemaker, the Chic Veganista. Those were people that I watched. What was it? Happy Healthy Vegan, Cheap Lazy Vegan, Those people, I watch all of their recipes. Oh, Veggie Rose. I watch hella recipes, like substitutes and all of these things. How can I make my favorite dishes? I binge watched those videos, and that was why I basically never had the question of what am I going to eat. And that's kind of why I struggle to answer that question for people, because I don't really know what you want to eat. Just explore what's out there. There's a lot of things to make. Like, find whatever you want to start with. Take responsibility in expanding the resources. Go to those events that you see. Open those posts and read them. Google stuff and follow through with what you find. Take initiative for finding more resources, because when you hit a rut, you can answer a lot of your own questions. And whether that's just taking the initiative to ask the question, to connect with somebody else who's confused, it's really, you gain a lot more from taking responsibility for providing more resources for yourself. And that's something that I learned on my journey. So, number 4 is that B12 and iron are 2 supplements or 2 nutrients that are totally a thing. Like, that's how I wrote it down. They are a thing. I suppose I would recommend getting your blood work done if you can, if that's accessible to you, before you begin your vegan journey, just so that you can have an idea of where your levels are and how those are shifting. Like, maybe get another test like 6 weeks or like 6 months or so in, to kind of see how those are changing. I have not gotten a blood test, but I've seen in other people's journeys that has helped them. And that's something that I wish I had known before starting, because I definitely would. Because I do know that B12 and iron, your intake, I mean, to my knowledge, all of us could increase our B12 intake. But it's important to identify those foods or those supplements through which you will be receiving B12 and iron. Because especially if you're going from like eating like animals, the iron that comes from, that is in your diet when you eat animals, will be lacking once you shift your lifestyle choices and your eating habits. However, it is like possible to supplement that. You just have to be intentional about doing so. So definitely look into that. For B12, I know I eat nutritional yeast, chia seeds, and flax seeds, I believe. I also take like a B12 vitamin, and I have like a dropper. It's like a tincture. So yeah, have that. Also for iron, when I first went vegetarian, I was taking like iron supplement pills. Because I was just like really fatigued all the time. But that was when I went vegetarian and wasn't even really thinking about going vegan. But that's worth noting, because I think that taking those supplements like did help in my transition to veganism. Now I kind of just, to be honest with you, like I eat a lot of leafy greens. That's the only thing that comes to mind about iron. But they are a thing, okay? Like, that's the thing of like, I wish I had known before that like that is something that could come up in the middle of your vegan journey. Hey, your iron levels are dangerously low. Hey, you're not getting enough B12. And I just don't want that to alarm somebody and like, oh, see, veganism is healthy. No, it's just something that you could benefit from knowing before transitioning or at an early enough point in your transition. Because I know B12, I'm conscious of incorporating into my diet on a regular basis. The last thing that I wish I'd known before beginning my vegan journey, or rather something that I'm grateful that I know now, / something that has encouraged me to this point, is that every transition is different. As I mentioned, I was vegetarian before I went vegan. I was vegetarian for 2 years before I made the decision to go vegan. My transition story is different than a lot of other people's, and the reason why I decided to transition to veganism, the reason why I chose to do it at the time I did, the reason why I was successful, and the tips and resources that like my success depended on is different than any other vegan you may meet. Every journey is different. With that being said, be open to receiving guidance. Be open to receiving, I was going to say advice, but yeah, maybe the word is advice from vegans who have been there before and who have now been successful. Like, be open to that, because the truth is that it is a lifestyle change. It is a challenge, which is why a lot of people, like a lot of coaches, offer like courses or like consultations or guidance for this lifestyle change. We recognize that it's a challenge. However, we want to like kind of not have you the phrase that comes to mind is repave the road, but I recognize that as a colonizer term. So what do I want to use instead? You don't have to rewrite the script. Maybe like there's so much that like vegans have learned in their time as a new vegan, in their time transitioning to veganism, and in their experience with being successful. So be open to guidance and recognize that even so, your journey is going to be different than everyone else's. So going back to recap down the list, number 1, don't give a fuck about what anybody says, vegan or non. Don't let that judgment get to you. Number 2, be patient with yourself because slow and steady wins the race. Number 3, B12 and iron are definitely a thing. I think that may have been number 4, but still, they're a thing. Be mindful of them, know how to navigate them, know the symptoms, do your research on that. Number 4, which I'm pretty sure is number 3, is to take responsibility for providing more resources for yourself, for further educating yourself on recipes, on community events, on courses, on just everything that's out there. Take responsibility. And number 5, every transition is different. So that's why all the tips before mattered the most, because embrace your journey and what it looks like for you. It won't look like how anyone else has looked. And that's the beautiful thing. So if you enjoyed this video today, make sure to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you thought, I don't care. And subscribe if you'd like to, and definitely share this video with a friend who you think it may benefit. I'm really grateful that you're even watching this video and that you are open to receiving guidance, because it is a huge step in this journey. So if you already know how to connect with me on Instagram at BlackFeministVegan or at Radiate Gifts, that's wonderful, and I hope to talk to you soon. If not, then you can go ahead and find me on there. My link tree should also be in the description box below. So linktree/BlackFeministVegan has the link to the Radiate gift shop, where you can find your herbal smoke blends, teas, jams, homemade starberry jam, like starberry, and hats and other things, Black Feminist Vegan. Also, last thing, if you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can do so. The link will be right here. And I would really appreciate your support. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a beautiful day. Great luck on your vegan journey. I'm here to support you. Peace.